then during preseason, the senior goalie on the team, who had been the starter for the past 2 years, he got injured, and I stepped into the starting role, and I did not give it up. I ended up having an amazing year where I was all Ivy League and all American, and my teammates voted me team MVP. And the guys, we really came together during that season. It was a magical season where we won the Ivy League and made the NCAA tournament for the first and only time in Dartmouth's history. I was so happy to be a star on the field and to be in love off the field. I was still hiding myself, which was painful, but I was being more of myself than I'd been for a long time, and that felt good. Plus, our team had such chemistry that I didn't dare interfere with it by coming out mid-season. And in our last game in the NCAA tournament, I ended up making a save as the goalie and running the length of the field and scoring a goal against Syracuse, which was a big moment, a bold move for a goalie to score a goal like that, and it got me a lot of attention. My boyfriend, who had made the 6 or so hour trip to Syracuse to see the game, was sitting just a few rows from my parents, and I looked up at him after I scored the goal. My parents obviously had no idea who I was looking at. And then after the season was over, I decided that was it. It was enough. It was time for me to come out. I had clearly proved my value on the field. I couldn't imagine these guys, my teammates, basically my family, dropping their MVP for being gay. And so I decided to tell one teammate, who was a leader and a favorite of the guys, and I asked him to share the news for me. The word traveled very quickly, and the best part for me was that by the time I saw my teammates next, they'd had the time to get over the shock and work through whatever they needed to work through. And they had come to let me know that they supported me. That was it. I was now their gay teammate, their gay goalie, their gay MVP. The same guy I was before, for the most part. And there was a transition period in the locker room, for sure, where guys were afraid to say the wrong thing, which probably made them realize they might have said a lot of hurtful things over the years that might have not been so good. And of course, there were accidental homo or fag references, followed by very sincere apologies. Dude, stop being a... Sorry, Goldie. But I knew the guys had my back. I should also mention what happened with my dad. Obviously, I was very frightened to tell him, considering what I had experienced growing up. But to his credit, he came right around as soon as I told him. He dropped the homophobia, and he had a book called Straight Parents, Gay Children, and he started reading up on what he could do. He's now my biggest supporter and a huge supporter of gay rights. It's pretty rewarding to see the turnaround. So at Dartmouth, I played 2 more seasons as an openly gay athlete, earning all Ivy honors 2 more times and 1 more All-American award. So being gay didn't affect my play or the way that others viewed me. And it was so much fun to feel free. The relief of not having to put on an act 24/7, it was incredible. And I remember all those dark times, all those sleepless nights, and I wished I could let younger kids know that no matter what they're going through, it's going to be okay in the end. During my senior year, that wish seemed to be answered when a producer from ESPN called the school and asked if they could do a story about the gay lacrosse player and his teammates. It ended up being a lot of fun and very terrifying to put myself out there on such a public stage. But I received hundreds, if not thousands, of letters from people after that piece aired on SportsCenter. Kids who used the video to come out to their parents or to have conversations about being gay. And parents who got a little closer to their kids. Athletes who realized that maybe the words they used in the locker room might be accidentally hurtful to some of their teammates that they might not have known about. It was a pretty cool thing for me at the time. But I didn't think that that video would still be meaningful 10 years later. And boy, was I wrong. Just about a month ago, I got an email from a very desperate father who has a 12-year-old lacrosse-playing son named Braden, who had recently come out to family and friends. 12 years old. Everything seemed okay at first, but then his friends started acting very strange around him. A classmate kept telling him that he would burn in hell for being gay, and he was cyberbullied online. So Braden, he went from straight A's in school to struggling. He didn't want to go out and leave the house anymore, and he started dropping hints about suicide, talking about not wanting to be here anymore. Braden's father, at a very desperate time, found me and asked if I could send some sort of message of support to his son. Braden was born the same year that I became a lacrosse star, the same year I had my first boyfriend. When I was his age, just like him, I was sad and lonely and afraid of being who I knew I was inside. But this is a different world now, and this kid can grow up and be an openly gay lacrosse star without it being a big deal. I wanted Braden to know how not alone he truly is. So I sent him a video telling him that he's incredibly courageous and that he can certainly be a lacrosse star and be gay, and that although there are tough times ahead, it will all be okay. It'll all work out in the end. I sent him the helmet that I wore when I played professional lacrosse with the message, "Dear Braden, your courage inspires me. Keep your head up and live your truth with pride. Your friend, Andrew." And I got 3 former openly gay college lacrosse players as well to send videos of support and hope. And I'm currently helping to organize a lacrosse game made up of as many gay lacrosse players as we can find in Braden's hometown of Philadelphia over Memorial Day weekend. Now, a few weeks ago, I was really lucky to be able to meet Braden and his family in person. And Braden handed me this letter that he had handwritten that I'm going to read to you. He gave me permission, of course. Dear Andrew, I want to thank you for all that you have done for me. When I first came out, I didn't know what my friends would think. I thought they wouldn't want to ever hang out anymore because I thought they would think I had a crush on them. Coming out was also really scary because I thought people would look at me as the gay kid who doesn't fit in. When I first came out, a lot of people were nice about it, but then kids would say things behind my back and it made me feel unwanted. I've lost friends that I thought were true friends and trustworthy. It all just made me even more insecure. Some kids would just avoid me like I was from another planet, and they thought that just because I was gay, I couldn't be like the others, the cool, popular athletic kids. And at times, I thought they were right, and I couldn't do anything but doubt myself. It was a really dark time for me where I would even think about suicide. But then you came, and you changed my life forever. Thank you for making me realize that I'm not alone. Your video touched my heart, and the day I got that video was the best day of my life. Your video and all of the other ones boosted my confidence to where I felt like I was unstoppable. A kid in my class would always make comments on how being gay isn't in the Bible, so it's not right, and how I should go to hell for being gay. But I didn't let it get me down because I remember what you said in the video. It's a tough road, but it'll all work out in the end. So I wanted to thank you for not only being my role model, but for being my friend. Your friend, Braden. You gotta see it, it's like 12-year-old handwriting. It's crazy. This whole experience has been very full circle for me. For so long, I just wished I could be different than the way I was. But now I have the chance to tell that 12-year-old version of myself that it will all work out. A friend said to me recently, as a straight, white, Jewish man, I want you to know how lucky you are that you can change someone's life just by being who you are. That's something I never thought about. And so I passed the message on to Braden. I told him how lucky he is to be gay, because he can inspire others simply by being himself. And I know that although he has to go through whatever journey his life calls for, he doesn't have to cry at night about being gay, wondering if he can play the sport he loves and be himself. I want to switch gears just for a minute and read you one other letter that I recently received. Andrew, I always loved you as my athlete friend in high school, and I think about how you must have felt in hockey and lacrosse with the things that people, including myself, I'm sure, said about being gay. I look back on that and feel terrible, immature. Anyway, I'm so happy for you. I wish you the best. I'm very happy at how happy you are. I miss you, man, and if we never talk again, I respect your strength for what you must have endured in high school, with everything, again, including myself, that people said, and the silence you endured. Please take this in the most genuine way. So I would say to you, please think about the words that you use, because you don't know what others are going through. And something you say might just make your friend or your teammate go home and feel bad about themselves. My teammates definitely wish that they had thought about that before I came out. And you can make the choice now to be thoughtful about what you say so you don't have to send one of those letters. Finally, I just want to say, if you are lucky enough to be gay or be different in some way that brings you some tough times, know that ultimately it really is a gift. It's the gift of living for yourself. The day you decide to live for yourself, regardless of what others think, is the day you become free. Because it'll drive you for the rest of your life. I went through a lot of tough years, but it's helped shape who I am and how I live my life every day, and ultimately, it's given me so much joy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Andrew. Thank you for your beautiful message.